Ladies and gentlemen, hear me today. If you are standing in this moment, if you are breathing in this hour, if you are still here after everything life tried to throw at you, it is not an accident. You didn't survive because you were lucky. You didn't endure because you were strong on your own. You're here because God Himself put His hand on you and said, "This one will not break." You walked through storms that should have shattered you. You faced nights that tried to swallow your hope whole. You endured battles that were never supposed to be won by someone your age, your background, your condition, your circumstance. But God, somebody shout, God, stepped in, held you together, and whispered over your life, "Not yet. I still have a blessing attached to this one." You see, the reason the pressure didn't crush you, the reason the pain didn't paralyze you, the reason the weight didn't wipe you out, is because God wasn't letting that situation destroy you. He was using it to prepare you. Every tear was training. Every setback was shaping. Every delay was divine timing. Every no was clearing the path for a supernatural yes that only heaven can authorize. So as you step into this message today, I dare you to open your heart, open your spirit, open your expectation, because God didn't let it break you, because He's about to BLS you in a way that will make every struggle make sense. Get ready, get positioned, get aligned, because what's coming is greater than what you came through. Your survival is not a coincidence, not a random outcome, not the result of destiny drifting in the wind. Your survival is the evidence, the undeniable, unshakable, living evidence that God's hand has been on your life the entire time. You didn't get through what you got through by sheer willpower. You didn't come out of those moments by depending only on your own strength. Something greater was holding you together when everything around you was falling apart. Something greater was guiding your steps when you didn't know where to turn. Something greater was covering you when life tried to expose you. And that something was God. When you look back at your life, you might see moments where you should have fallen, but didn't. Times when the situation looked too heavy, too complicated, too painful, too confusing, yet somehow you continued. Somehow, the pieces of your heart that felt cracked didn't shatter. Somehow your courage rose when your fear was louder. Somehow your spirit stayed alive when your circumstances were trying to suffocate your hope. That somehow wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It wasn't coincidence. It was the quiet, constant, protective hand of God resting on you when you didn't even realize it. There were nights when your emotions wanted to take over, when your thoughts felt overwhelming, when your faith felt shaky, but something wouldn't let you give up. That pull, that inner strength, that whisper reminding you to keep going wasn't coming from you alone. God was strengthening your heart when it felt heavy. God was steadying your steps when the path felt unstable. God was calming your spirit when the pressure felt too real. Even when you didn't see Him working, He was working. Even when you didn't feel Him near, He was near. His hand isn't loud. Sometimes it's gentle, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's invisible, but it's always present. Every person around you may not understand what you've survived. They may see the smile, but not the storms. They may see the strength, but not the struggle. They may see your present, but not the battles you fought in private. But God was there for every moment others didn't see. He saw the tears you didn't talk about. He saw the thoughts you didn't voice. He saw the weight you carried in silence. And instead of allowing those things to crush you, He carried you through them. He held your life together when it looked like things were falling apart. Your survival is proof that you were never fighting alone. Sometimes you survived things you didn't even know were threats. Doors that didn't open were protecting you. Friendships that ended were saving you. Opportunities that fell apart were redirecting you. Disappointments were actually deliverances. You didn't notice it then. You only saw the frustration, the confusion, the hurt. But now you can look back and see that God was blocking what would have broken you. He was removing what would have distracted you. He was shielding you from harm that you didn't have the strength to see. You didn't survive because the path was easy. You survived because God walked with you through every part of the path. Maybe you thought you were alone. Maybe you felt abandoned. Maybe you wondered if anyone cared. But God was holding your emotions in one hand and your future in the other. Even in moments when you felt too young to handle the pressure, too tired to keep trying, too unsure to make the next move, He stayed with you. He didn't let your breaking point become the end of your story. People may look at your life and not understand how you're still standing. They may underestimate your resilience because they don't know your past. They don't realize you have a spiritual history filled with moments where God stepped in. If they knew the full weight of what you came through, they'd realize your existence is a miracle. The fact that you're here, thinking, learning, breathing, growing, is not ordinary. It is intentional. God preserved you for a reason. Think about those seasons when the pressure piled up: school stress, relationship stress, family challenges, expectations from others, expectations you put on yourself, fears about the future, regrets from the past. Any of those things alone could have been overwhelming, but you faced more than one at the same time. And yet, you're still standing. You're still learning. You're still hoping. That is not normal strength. That is God-given strength. If it were just your own endurance, you would have run out by now. The reason you didn't run out is because God was refilling you in ways your spirit didn't even recognize. There were decisions you almost made that would have taken your life in a different direction. But something stopped you. Something told you to wait. Something told you to think again. Something told you to hold on. That something was God's protection, nudging you away from harm and toward a future He already designed for you. Your survival is a message that says God sees you, God knows you, God cares for you. And God has been working behind the scenes, even when you didn't have words for what you were feeling. The proof of His presence isn't in the moments that went right. It's in the moments that went wrong, but didn't destroy you. It's in the storms that raged but didn't drown you. It's in the challenges that hurt but didn't erase your purpose. Some people think God only works in miracles that are loud, dramatic, or visible. But one of His greatest miracles is quiet preservation, quiet strength, quiet endurance, quiet resilience. He doesn't always remove the battle. Sometimes He simply makes sure the battle doesn't remove you. And that's exactly what He did. That's why you can stand today with the confidence that your life is not the result of randomness. It is the result of divine protection shaping your journey. Your survival isn't the end of the story. It is the beginning of a bigger purpose. Because if God kept you, it's because He's taking you somewhere. If He protected you, He's preparing you. If He preserved you, He's positioning you. And the same hand that didn't let you break is the same hand that is guiding you toward blessing, growth, strength, and purpose beyond anything you've imagined. You're not here by accident. You're here because God kept you, and because He has more for you. What tried to break you was never sent to finish you. It was shaping you, training you, stretching you, and preparing you for a season you weren't strong enough to carry yet. Sometimes the very things you think are working against you are actually working for you. The pressure, the weight, the challenges, the disappointments, they weren't designed to destroy you. They were designed to develop you. You may not have understood it while you were standing in the middle of it, but every situation that felt heavy was secretly strengthening the parts of you that needed to grow. Life has a way of placing us in situations where we feel tested, pushed, or overwhelmed. But strength is never built in comfortable moments. Strength grows in the resistance. Strength grows in the stretching. Strength grows when you're forced to dig deeper than you ever have before. And that's exactly what those difficult experiences were doing for you. They were waking up a level of strength inside you that you didn't even know existed. You might not realize it now, but you're stronger because of the things you survived. You have more resilience, more wisdom, more perspective, more emotional maturity, more faith, more clarity about what matters. These qualities don't show up overnight. They are formed slowly, in the uncomfortable, in the confusing, in the painful parts of life. The moments when you wanted everything to be easy were the same moments God was shaping you for something greater. Every challenging situation you endured built a muscle you were going to need later. Every disappointment taught you patience. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every closed door taught you redirection. Every delay taught you endurance. Every tough season taught you how to find peace within chaos. Without realizing it, you were growing, and not the kind of growth that fades, but the kind that lasts. Sometimes God allows you to walk through certain seasons, not to break you, but to break off the things that would hold you back. There were mindsets you had to outgrow. There were relationships you had to let go of. There were fears that had to be confronted. There were doubts that had to be challenged. And there were insecurities that had to be pushed out of your system. The struggles you faced were exposing your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. If you never felt pressure, you'd never learn how to push through. If you never felt tested, you'd never discover your potential. If everything came easy, you'd never tap into the power God placed inside you. Because strength doesn't show up when life is gentle. It shows up when life is demanding. Strength is built in the moments when you had no choice but to keep going, keep trusting, and keep believing that somehow things would eventually shift. You might remember times where everything felt too much. Maybe it was school stress, family pressure, people's expectations, or the weight of responsibilities. You might have felt confused or stretched beyond what you thought you could handle. But notice something: you didn't collapse under the weight. You adapted. You grew. You learned. You changed. You evolved. That was strength being formed inside you, even when you didn't realize it. And let's be real, some seasons were rough. Some situations took more from you than others. Some days felt heavy. But those tough days became the very place where your character was sharpened. You learned how to stand even when you were tired. You learned how to think clearly even when emotions were loud. You learned how to stay grounded even when circumstances shifted. And that stability didn't come from comfort. It came from challenge. Think about who you were before those experiences. Think about how easily you might have given up back then. Think about how uncertain or overwhelmed you used to feel. Now look at yourself today. You are wiser. You are more aware. You are more patient. You are more intentional. That change didn't come from easy seasons. It came from endurance. Even when you felt like things were working against you, God was working through those situations to prepare you. Some doors didn't open because you weren't ready. Some relationships didn't last because they couldn't support your future. Some challenges came not to harm you, but to reveal your hidden strength. God wasn't letting those things break you. He was using them to build you into someone who could carry blessings, responsibilities, and opportunities you couldn't have handled before. This is why you should never underestimate the value of the storms you survived. They toughened your spirit. They sharpened your instincts. They stretched your capacity. You became more thoughtful, more grounded, more disciplined. The version of you today is a direct result of the hardships you endured yesterday. And here's the beautiful part. The strength you gained wasn't just physical strength or emotional strength. It was spiritual strength. The kind of strength that teaches you how to stand firm, trust deeply, and believe boldly. The kind of strength that whispers, "You've been through worse. You can handle this too." The kind of strength that can look fear in the face and not fold. The kind of strength that doesn't crumble under pressure, but rises in it. What tried to break you became the very thing that prepared you. What tried to weaken you helped you discover resilience. What tried to overwhelm you helped you build endurance. What tried to discourage you helped you find clarity. And what tried to stop you helped you understand that you are stronger, tougher, and more capable than you ever imagined. Some blessings are so heavy that only a strengthened version of you can carry them. Some opportunities require maturity you didn't have before. Some seasons demand emotional and spiritual strength that only life experience can teach. So God allowed certain challenges not to defeat you, but to prepare you. Your next season is bigger than your last one, and it required a stronger you. So He built that strength inside you through the very things you thought were breaking you. Every struggle strengthened the foundation of who you are becoming. Every battle became a blueprint for your next level. Every trial trained you for the territory ahead. What tried to break you was actually building you. And now you are stepping into a new season. Not weak, not wounded, not confused, but stronger, wiser, more grounded, and more prepared than ever. Everything you've endured has equipped you for what's coming. You didn't just survive. You built strength that no challenge can take away. The next season will reveal why the last one had to make you stronger. There are moments in life when it feels like everything is slowing down, shutting down, or being pushed out of reach. Plans stall. Opportunities seem to slip through your fingers. Progress pauses. You pray for movement, but instead you encounter delay. You pray for clarity, but instead you run into confusion. And sometimes in those moments, you wonder if something is wrong, if you've done something incorrectly, or if life has simply stopped working in your favor. But what you often don't realize is that when God delays destruction, it's because He's preparing a divine elevation. He's not punishing you. He's positioning you. He's not denying you. He's developing you. He's not ignoring you. He's constructing the blessing that requires timing, maturity, and preparation before it can land in your life. God knows the weight of your future, and he knows exactly what kind of foundation you need to carry it. You see delays as setbacks, but he sees them as setups. You see pauses as problems, but he sees them as protection. You see waiting as wasted time, but he sees waiting as building time. The strengthening of your character, your discernment, your resilience, your maturity, and your ability to handle the next season without collapsing under the pressure of it. Sometimes God will slow things down so he can elevate you without destroying you. Destruction doesn't just come in the form of danger. Sometimes it comes in the form of blessings you're not ready to hold. A door opening too early can hurt you more than a door that never opens. A blessing you're not prepared for can distract you, overwhelm you, or expose weaknesses you haven't worked through yet. You might want the elevation, but God wants you ready for it. And readiness takes time. Readiness takes pruning. Readiness takes the removal of old habits, the healing of old wounds, and the strengthening of parts of you that you don't even realize are weak. Think back on your life for a moment. Think about the times you wanted something desperately. A role, a relationship, a position, a breakthrough, and it didn't happen. You might have felt disappointed or confused, but later on, you realized why that no or not yet was necessary. You grew, you matured, you gained perspective, you learned lessons that shaped you. You became someone who could handle more, think clearer, and stand stronger. The delay wasn't denial, it was direction. God's protection doesn't always look like a shield. Sometimes it looks like a closed door. Sometimes it looks like a detour. Sometimes it looks like silence. But he never delays without purpose. When God allows you to wait, it is because the place he is taking you requires more than what you currently have, more than what you currently know, and more than who you currently are. Elevation without preparation isn't blessing, it's burden. And God doesn't send burdens disguised as blessings. The most powerful people aren't the ones who rise quickly. They are the ones who rise with depth. They rise with understanding. They rise with stability. They rise with wisdom. And wisdom is rarely built in fast seasons. It's built in the quiet seasons, the waiting seasons, the seasons where you're